The premise is that mankind is in decline. Manhood is in decline. The British male is in crisis. He doesn't know what he's supposed to be. He doesn't know what he's supposed to do or how to act or what his place is in society, whether he's supposed to be endearingly hopeless or dependably reliable. I think he should be dependably reliable. And there have been quite a few guidebooks out to being a bloke, and it's got a lot of stuff in it about tying bow ties and ordering dinner in a restaurant and how to buy a suit. And I don't think that's really what it's about. I think it's about sort of basic practical thinking. So I chose 9 subjects that haven't really been addressed anywhere else as far as I can make out, and I've explained them fully. The detail is correct. The book does equip you to do these things, unlikely though the scenarios are.
Should you press the red button by mistake, immediately press AP1 and the autopilot will revert to the flight plan that was entered in the computer at takeoff.
None of them have been performed by me in an emergency situation. I have done the defusing a bomb, but it was a dummy bomb, but with the correct fuse in it. I've flown some aeroplanes, but I've never landed a full-size airliner. I've not delivered any babies, although I have been present at the delivery of babies and mucked in a bit, or sucked a lot of gas and air anyway to see what it was like. So I've sort of got a bit of a feel for all of them. Obviously, I've never chopped up and eaten one of my best mates, because that really is a dire emergency sort of scenario. But the point is that that could happen. It does happen occasionally. We know it does. And if you're going to have to do it, you may as well know how to do it properly.
Remove the limb from the torso by cutting through the connective tissues to the bone, and then finish the job with a heavy blow from a rock or a piece of aeroplane. Remove the hands and feet, as this will greatly reduce the impression that you are eating a person. In this respect, presentation remains important.
The book is full of disclaimers that make it quite clear that we're not encouraging people to go out and do any of these things. I wouldn't want anybody to go and look for an airliner to land, or to try and deliberately engineer a situation in which they had to eat their mate's legs, because that would be ridiculous. And in the modern world, and this may be one of its problems, and it may be what I'm sort of trying to address, you do have to be a bit careful about advice that you give out. You know, we're at the stage where if you go to a DIY shop and ask for advice on, say, rewiring some plugs in your house, which is not a difficult job, as long as you've got an electrician's screwdriver and a certain amount of common sense, you can do it. You can turn the electricity off, you can test circuits, you can change plug sockets. But they're actually now not allowed to advise you on how to do it, because that makes them responsible when you stick the metal handled screwdriver in the live side and blow yourself to bits, which is tragic, really, I think.
Go to B&Q to buy your bomb disposal kit. It consists of a pot of salt, a pot of water, a pair of scissors or secateurs, a length of plastic tubing, a hand-operated vacuum pump, a small bicycle pump, a lump of putty or plasticine, a hand drill, a 4mm drill bit and a self-tapping needle. Pose with the safe bomb for a picture, sound the all clear and mentally prepare yourself for the unqualified adoration of your peers.
This book is a little bit like the airbag in the car. You want it there, but you hope never to see it, because obviously that's a bad situation. And having to land an airliner would be a pretty dicey situation. But the point of it is, it's meant to be a piece of entertainment, but it's also meant to be factually correct, which it is, I hope, and it is meant to be instructive, and it's meant to inspire this notion that you can actually go and do stuff. You don't have to just throw your hands up and go, oh, I couldn't possibly do that, I'm hopeless. People aren't really hopeless, and I don't think men will be admired for much longer for their affected uselessness. I think people will want to start looking up to them and thinking, there's a chap I can depend on. If I buy the farm, he'll cut my leg off and eat it, and I'd thank him for it if I wasn't dead.